When we look at the traumatic moment, something happens to somebody that is very painful. And in a way, in that moment, or something happens to a child and it's very painful, in that moment, life says, here and now, life is not good for me. So to be able to shut down that pain and to place hope into the future makes a lot of sense. So to go out of my body, to shut down my body, my emotions, my stress, my pain, and to go into the hope for a next moment that will be better is actually a very intelligent function in that moment. But of course, if we don't restore that whenever it's possible, then it fixates itself as a kind of a going to the next moment as the potential for change. And of course, if that's one person, that's in one person. But if millions or billions of people carry certain trauma, then billions of people place the hope for change into the future. So we hope that after this, whatever it is right now, it's going to be better. But of course, after this, something else happens. And then we say, okay, after this, now it's really difficult. But after this, it's going to be better. And then after this is the carrot that we will never reach. Because we don't see that we are unconsciously enrolled in the kind of psychology of that moment that says, here and now, life is not good for me. And as I said, that's not something good or bad. That's an important defense mechanism that we need to honor and work with. But we also need to see that we might be in a collective, under a collective spell that many of us believe tomorrow it's going to be better than today, versus liberating, like becoming aware of that, becoming aware of how we needed to do this maybe at a certain time in our life, in our ancestors' life, and bringing that hope slowly back from the future into agency. I feel I can contribute something to this life and I can co-create the world that I want to be living in with other people now. And that's a huge shift. And I think this collective agreement on change or the hope for change later can become a sense of change now. Because when I'm present, I feel you, I feel the situation, I feel my own power to do something, even if I don't know how to solve everything, but maybe I know the next step and the next step and the next step. So I think that's a very important principle for many of us to see, oh, how do I place hope in the future? And if I don't judge it, it's important not to say, oh, I shouldn't do that. No, of course, we all needed this. But to say, yeah, wow, I'm becoming aware of something that's often part of in my relationship, in my workplace, in different places with societal and political situations. It's coming after. And of course, that is disempowering for us now. And then we say, oh, we have no choice. There's nothing we can do. And then we lean back and we disengage more. And that disengagement that's already pre-existing or shows up in those moments, of course, slows down the change. Otherwise, we all can be exactly what you just said before. We can be, no matter how small or big is our contribution, we are part of the movement. We are part of the movement of life. And that's important.